What's up guys, welcome back to a new weekly reflection. I'm going to be reviewing my past week's trades and thought process. It was a very good week for me. As you can see, every single day was green. I also didn't take a lot of trades. You see here, trades, 3 trades, 2 trades. This is really what I want to strive for. So I traded low size because I just wanted to build more conviction. I feel like I perform better when I'm trading lower size, but I'm very happy with my habits last week. Took some very good trades, also missed some, but I'm going to talk about some minor mistakes and all my trades that I've taken this week. So this was the economic calendar from this week, June 2nd to June 6th. And yeah, it was NFP week, so the best day to trade, everyone was thinking like Friday, but there were some other days during the week where a lot of good setups presented itself. Red folder news every single day of the week. So usually red folder news is good to trade, but if it's like stacked like this, then you need to watch out and just focus on the biggest days here where the most red folder news are present, which is Wednesday and Friday. But anyways, also Monday was nice. Just going to review the price action starting from the start of the week, of course. So, okay, higher time frame going into the week, still bullish. No need to be bearish here. Still that monthly PSP I've been talking about for a long time, which can bring price all the way towards the highs here. Then on the lower time frame, not lower time frame, but like 4 hour, we also have this monthly bullish. Now we have this monthly bearish as well, formed last week, which can trigger us into thinking that the higher time frame is gonna be bearish from here after this 4 hour displacement, but still this monthly PSP is stronger with this monthly bullish. This monthly bearish also delivered price towards discount of this entire higher time frame range. If you do something like this, then you see we're actually just retracing. We're still inside this range. We're actually still bullish. So I'm still trusting this monthly more, right? Even though this offered the displacement, I think this already delivered price to where it needs to go, which is discount of this higher time frame range. So unless we have like a weekly on top here, daily, then maybe we can, yes, target this monthly. But for now, I'm still looking at the longs. And I want to see some cracks happening here on Monday, Tuesday, which can bring price higher, which exactly happened. So I'm going to talk about the price action and my trades from Monday. Basically, we had this R4 SMT fill as well, which can bring us like lower, but this happened like at a random time, like in PM session Friday. So I wouldn't take this in consideration. Usually the things that are higher probable, they happen like around macros, around the New York Open, around news events. So that's really where I want to focus on. Just open the markets when there's a high probability time to trade. And the cracks that form there, I will put more emphasis on them, if that makes sense. So basically on Monday, what did we end up doing? I'm gonna also replay price because otherwise I can't see the true opens. So basically, this is the open. So the first red dot is always the open of the market, 9:30 EST time. What did we do? We have a 90 and micro just before that with a 5-minute PSP. I missed this nice trade. Looking back at it, it was really good. It was actually 2 combos because we had 2-stage sequential SMT. We had a 90 plus micro, but we also had a 90 plus 5-minute PSP, which after we have like a 5-minute displacement, or in case we do the 2-stage, a 1-minute displacement with the micro, then you can just trade longs from here towards that low-hanging fruit. I just didn't have conviction at the time, didn't see the setup. I don't really remember why, but I think this was a really good setup looking back at it. From there, we formed a 90 and a weekly, so another 2-stage setup, which didn't provide a clean turtle soup on the 5 minutes. Also, no proper displacement because, if you displace like here, we can just tap the gap and go higher. So nothing too high probable here. I just expect this to retrace price lower and eventually form some new cracks at the lows or in this gap, which ended up happening. We formed some cracks here at the lows. Basically, YM was taking out previous like London session lows and Friday's lows. So there was weekly and daily. Like instead of ES and Q just taking out some internal liquidity, YM actually went way lower towards these lows and yeah, created a big crack. This was also happening below the true opens. So I was bullish from here, and the confirmation for this, if we have a weekly plus a daily here formed, the daily is the lowest time frame sequential SMT, so I need like a 50-minute displacement or a 50-minute clean turtle soup. And if you look at this 50 minutes, this just looked like a super clean turtle soup, right? We take out some internal lows, we close this 50-minute candle really bullish. So the best entry would have been just at this close, stop at the low. I was just thinking I need a 50-minute displacement, but I didn't realize that the 50-minute candle already closed really bullish. So this weekly plus daily was actually already confirmed. I just waited a bit and then I saw some more confluences. Basically, we had a 50-minute PSP as well, which was confirmed here. So now it's looking really nice, right? Weekly plus daily plus 50-minute PSP. I don't know, I just waited to enter to here. I was waiting for the reaccumulation of this market maker buy model. We had some minute one SMT fills. We had a 5-minute SMT fill here. We had a 50-minute SMT fill. So you can use these as like protected lows then, right here. And that's basically what I did. I just entered a really random entry, but I just was thinking here, okay, we really look nice to go higher. And I just entered, putting my stop at the SMT fill low. I got stopped out first because I was just trimming my stop too high. But then I realized, okay, this was not a good stop. This is actually my good stop. And you see how these SMT fill lows are getting respected, right? So we don't fill a gap on NQ, and we do it on ES or vice versa with YM. These SMT fills, I just try to be a little bit cautious, but they really end up working a lot of the time. So especially if it's like in discount of the range. I don't really like to use like SMT fills that are like higher up, but yeah, this was a pretty good trade. I re-entered immediately after I saw that my stop was just bad. I was just thinking this is a little bit of a chop, but ended up working, re-entered after I saw that this stop was still not getting taken out. It was just a wrong stop loss, but anyways, then ended up taking this long after stream. That was Monday. I think this was the best setup here. And then this can be a nice continuation setup with the SMT fill stop here. But the better entry, in my opinion, would have been after this 50-minute bullish close right here. And basically do something like this then. Have your entry at this 50-minute new candle open and then target the highs. I think this looked very good. Tapping below true open, still following the higher time frame bullish buys that I have. I mean, yeah, Monday was not bad. Ended up making, yeah, $200. I'm copy trading this between like 2 accounts, so always times 2, like $400. But anyways, the money is not important. I'm just glad that I actually recognized my mistake and re-entered, because that's a really good thing. If you recognize that what you did wrong, and you can always re-enter if it makes sense. You don't really overtrade, you just like correct your mistakes and then you can re-enter, right? It's not FOMOing in if it's still valid. Now we go to Tuesday. Tuesday's price action. Let me see. So still bullish. I begin to dislike this monthly because now we have this weekly daily from Monday. Still drawing this out, but I really expect price to go higher. Let me go to then Tuesday. Tuesday was, I think, just a continuation day. So we ended up opening the market right here. We just pushed up and then pushed down. Not a lot of cracks to work with. I am bullish on the higher time frame. The only thing that we see on the lower time frame is here just a 5-minute PSP after we push up, nothing else. So I'm just thinking this is just the future draw on liquidity. But then we go down and we form a micro plus a 1-minute PSP. This is a combo of my trading system. A potential trade was then after this minute 1 displacement, but I just didn't think that this risk to reward is great. Yes, you can let it run, but there was not really clean liquidity to target. That's like really obvious. So this is a potential trade, but didn't take it because no clean draw, not really below all the true opens on one of the assets. But yeah, potential long continuation trade. After that, it was more clear. I took this long after I basically saw that, okay, we go up again and then we go down. We just have a weekly hidden, unconfirmed, and a micro here. But after we then retrace here, this micro is essentially confirmed because of this 1 minute displacement, but we immediately form a 90 plus micro here. So a two-stage SSMT setup. Then I want to see a minute 1 displacement because I don't think there's like a clean turtle soup here. So I want this fair value gap to get inverse, which happens right here at this 10:15 candle. I enter somewhere right here at this 10:16 open. Then I see that we have a micro here, bearish, so an opposing SSMT with this setup I have. So I begin to look for maybe exits because this doesn't look nice. But my mistake here was that the bullishness was still overarching the bearishness, if you get what I mean. The biggest confirmed cracks were still bullish, the biggest context is still bullish. And yes, while essentially this micro is confirmed after we have a displacement on the 1 minute time frame, inversing a 1 minute gap like here, we are still technically just tapping this order block. We're still technically just mitigating this zone right here. So I took off the trade in a little loss because I was thinking this micro plus this weekly hidden was just going to push us further down. But then thinking about it, higher time frame still bullish to me. The monthly bullish PSP that we have, the monthly bullish sequential SMT, us being just very bullish on the higher time frame. Micro pushed us up, 90 plus micro pushed us up. This micro is just for us to retrace. Then we go up. This is a nice long after the 90 plus micro. Like I just realized I don't need to be too mechanical about this. The long still looked way nicer than the shorts because, I mean, this is not looking bearish, right? This is just looking like a retracement. I should have only taken a trade after there's like a clean 1 minute displacement. I'm drawing these out as gray because they're not confirmed. I want to see a 1 minute displacement. And I thought I saw this 1 minute displacement because we inversed this gap technically, but still the bullishness looks way more clear. This just looks like we're retracing, right? It's really, really slowed down. And then after I saw that we again just inverse this bullish gap, we actually just like, we're still bullish. I re-enter and I think this looked nice to go higher following this 90 plus micro setup. We also confirmed the 50-minute PSP afterwards. So my mistake here is that I should really wait for a clean displacement. And this is just mechanical. I'm just waiting for this 1 minute gap to get inversed while it's still looking clean, that we continue the bullish bias because of all the higher time frame and the bullish context that just makes sense. Bearishness here, like we're just retracing. It doesn't make sense to potentially trade the weekly hidden plus a micro, which doesn't even have a clean 1 minute displacement. So I'm just rambling, like I'm just telling you guys my thoughts, right? If it doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. This is just for me to document my journey. It really helps me to just talk out loud of what I'm thinking, because then I can get better, and maybe some people here that watch me can also get the value from my experience. So that's that. A little trade on Tuesday, which is like break even, really low risk, because I don't think this is a really high probability setup. But anyways, still a clean read. Let's go to Wednesday. So Wednesday, let's see. Still bullish, monthly BSP, monthly bullish sequential SMT. I'm still using these, right? Weekly plus daily here. That's like in discount of this higher time frame range of this monthly. So I'm still looking for longs. This is Wednesday then. Let's go here. We have an hour 1 SMT fill. Maybe this can be protected low, which it ended up being crazy, right? SMT fill lows still get respected. So you can use this as a bias. Now at the open here on Wednesday, no, there was actually like unemployment claims or something at 8:15. I don't remember what, but it doesn't matter. It's just red folder news. It pushed price lower here at 8:15 because we had a nice daily plus 90-minute two-stage sequential SMT on the bearish side, which is nice to see that then this news distributed lower because the manipulation already happened. Now we took out this nice low resistance liquidity. We're still inside this range. I'm still bullish. We form an opposing daily. No really setup here because I need like a 50-minute PSP or a 90-minute. So I just don't do anything here. Here is where we open, but I expect these highs to get targeted because we have this daily opposing. I'm still bullish on the higher time frame. Basically at the open, we just had a normal SMT fill, and then we took out this low-hanging fruit. Yeah. From here, we form another daily opposing. So if you have a lot of like opposing SMTs, we're most likely in a range, and that's exactly what's happening here. So daily plus 90, push this lower, took out the draw. Now daily opposing, push this higher. After this SMT fill on 930, then daily bearish again. I'm still looking now for this daily to get targeted then. But what do I want to see if I want to continue higher? I want to see a two-stage SMT setup or a SMT plus PSP. And now, because of this daily bearish, I'm just expecting this to push price lower to create a manipulation to then go higher again. Because there's nothing else, like there's just a daily. There's not a daily in a gap, there's not a daily plus a PSP, there's not a daily plus a 90. So I'm just expecting this after the open to manipulate here, which is exactly what happened. Now we have a daily plus 90, and the reaction from here is very bullish, right? We take out this draw, we leave equal lows on ES. I don't care about equal lows if there's a crack, right? So we create daily plus 90, very bullish reaction. Immediately we have a 1 minute SMT fill, which could have been an entry here, which I used actually. Yeah, I used this 1 minute SMT fill entry. I entered right here. And then basically it was just a really choppy day. This was my low-hanging fruit, but we ended up just engineering a lot of liquidity. I was very confident that we're going to take out the highs, but I don't know when. Like if it's choppy day, then we can just chop for a long time. And I decided to just move my stop to break even and maybe re-enter later. I was getting tired here, so I just closed the stream. But then immediately after I saw that we have a 90 plus micro, then I re-entered. And yeah, then I took this low-hanging fruit as my TP. So my mistake here was that I should have just closed everything after this really choppy day, not expect price to go all the way to here. Just after we take out low-hanging fruit, just already trim it to low-hanging fruit your stop loss so that you can't like lose after this. I don't want to take out the rest of the profits like here. That would have been bad after this choppy day, so should have just closed everything out here. So really good read again, was bullish here from here, really nice setup. Yeah, you just can't do anything about it. Usually I don't move my stop to break even if we didn't take out low-hanging fruit yet, but because we were in low probability conditions, I can just like move my stop to break even because I can easily re-enter later after we have another setup like this 90 plus micro. Yeah, it just makes more sense. So I can do it. I don't think it's a bad decision. But yeah, your initial stop loss should have always been here. And you see this always gets respected because this is where the cracks and the SMTs and stuff forms, right? So that was Wednesday. Choppy day, but still ended up reading it pretty good. Let's go to Thursday. Thursday, what did we end up doing? So Thursday, we actually took out previous week's high on a yes and NQ. So we have a monthly bearish. We don't have this on YM at the time. You see here, we took out previous week's highs, but on YM, we do not. Maybe at the end of the week, but at this time, there was an SMT here. So monthly bearish now. We took out a very important high. So yes, I'm still bullish on the higher time frame because of all the bullish cracks here, but I can expect a retracement now, right? A very important buy side level is getting taken out. Maybe if there is a bearish setup with a lot of cracks and contacts, we can take some shorts towards low-hanging fruit objectives, if that makes sense. So basically, this was the price action that we were seeing on Thursday. We had not only the monthly, but also a weekly plus a daily bearish right here. And at the open here, this is 9:30, we form a 1 minute sequential SMT. So a micro bearish plus a 1 minute PSP. This is one of my setups. Now I want to see a 1 minute displacement. The biggest contacts and cracks are pointing bearish to me. I'm bearish because on the bullish side, we don't have anything except just a weekly, nothing else on the lower time frame. I think this low here at 8:30 is a really nice data low. It's also a PSP, so it can be a nice liquidity pool. So basically, 1 minute displacement is not looking really nice here. And now we have a 1 minute SMT fill. Oh, this is now looking nice. And now we have a clean displacement here, which is signaling me like, okay, we can go lower from here. Just from here, it was a little bit unclear because we were sweeping these lows. But then after we continue, I enter, stop at the SMT fill high, somewhere here, and then target this low-hanging fruit. And from here, I don't care anymore because there's nothing that I see. We are now below tropen, so maybe we can take longs. There was just no long setup here. I took my profits for the day. What did we end up doing? Just taking out this high, I think, again, and then continuing lower. So bearish bias, I think, was good. I think it was just a choppy day because we moved lower from here again. So we take out buy side, sell side, and then continue the bearish bias. I think we just continue down from here, right? Yeah. So basically, when this is happening, I was putting my TP2 right here, which is not bad, right? So I got stopped out of break even. I think this was a really nice TP2, so that's good. Yeah, you just can't know that we take out this high. It's just low probability day. This 90 plus 5-minute PSP here, I didn't really care about this because the biggest cracks and context was pointing bearish here at the open, and there was no 5-minute displacement. We just kept respecting this lower time frame premium. Not really low probable, not really a good trade. I mean, it's a good trade, but it's just not the best structure, not the best price actually, in my opinion. But another green day, right? Another green day. Okay, nice. Friday, I think was one of the best trades that I've taken this week. And let me go over this chart on why that was the case. Basically, Friday was NFP, so I'm thinking of moving my stream, just moving my trading session 1 hour before, so like 8:15, if NFP or one of these really important pre-market news days happen, because usually there's such a clean setup. So basically Friday, normally I only trade 9:15, but there was a really nice pre-market setup. We basically formed daily plus 90-minute plus a 50-minute PSP, so 2-stage setup plus SMT plus PSP, so like 2 combos that I can use to trade higher. Because this manipulation already happened pre-market, you can expect the news to distribute and not manipulate, which is exactly what happened. Really nice to see. I'm still bullish on the higher time frame, of course. Here at the open, what did we end up doing? Just continuing from this bullish NFP bias, we formed some low resistance liquidity. So I am aiming for some manipulation here later, or just a draw on liquidity. At the open here, 9:30, we just formed a 5-minute SMT fill plus a 5-minute PSP and a 1-minute PSP. It's not one of my combos, but I see these working over and over again. I think this is a really nice combo. You have basically an SMT fill on a time frame and then a PSP on the same time frame. So this, for example, is a 5-minute SMT fill plus a 5-minute PSP. And this is what ended up pushing price higher after the open. I don't feel confident yet to take this, but maybe next time I'll trade this higher. It's just another cracking correlation that you can use, right? I am not a mechanical trader. I should just trade based off cracks and context. And I think this was a really nice, a crack that maybe I can use later the more times I see it. Now here then, what do? Obviously that we take out, like we engineer a lot of liquidity. We go lower, we just form a normal SMT, nothing for me to trade, but then we form a micro plus a 1-minute PSP. This is one of my setups, just so high in premium and such a close TP that I just stay pre-ed this long from here. You can check my stream. I said this was a really nice long, but it's just like very bad RR and we are so close to this TP yet. But then afterwards, you have to know we have a weekly potential, but now we have a clean 90-minute and micro after taking out this low-hanging fruit. Then I was thinking, okay, now maybe we can finally take out this low resistance liquidity, finally tap this gap from NFP, which we do later. And I think this was a really nice 2-stage setup here. 90 plus micro after taking out low-hanging fruit. Now we have a 1-minute displacement. This would have been the perfect entry. I just waited for a little bit more conviction after we tapped this inverse fair value gap, and then I basically took profits perfectly. Like, look at my TP. Perfect TP at this low resistance liquidity low. Yeah, that was basically the ending trade of the week. So, followed my rules. my biggest mistakes were that basically, let me go back here. Biggest mistake on Monday was that I should put my stop not at a wrong place, but at my invalidation. So either a cracking correlation or an SMT fill low. Here I just trimmed it for no reason, so that's not good. I can trade a little higher size. I'm trading really low size. It's on a challenge account, but I just feel like I have more conviction. Like I feel more comfortable trading lower size. So I'm just keep doing this. It's more important that I follow my good habits than I just like focus on the money. On Tuesday, if I remember correctly, my mistake was that, yeah, I should not be worried about a micro that's like inversing a gap. I should really wait for a clean, obvious, dumb clear displacement. And this is just looking like we're mitigating this lower time frame range. And this bullish context and cracks were still overarching the bearish one. So I should have just stayed in this trade, stop at the crack. Wednesday was a choppy day, I think. I should have just recognized that after this 50-minute clean turtle soup, I can already enter. So maybe just be a little bit more focused here. And then, yeah, Thursday as well was a really nice day. Yeah, good trade. That's the only thing I saw. And then Friday, yeah, was a really nice trade here. Yeah. Guys, nothing more to say here. I'm going to close off the week, put some playbooks here that I think were really good setups, but I think you guys know already which were the good setups, especially on Friday. Monday was also a really good setup. After this 90 micro at the open, trading higher. Yeah, I just need to be more focused, but I'm getting better because the first week of live streaming, I was like missing so many setups, and now I feel like I'm more locked in. I see more things happening at the time that they're like happening. But yeah, I can be a little bit better. But every single week is there to improve ourselves. So hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to journal, and I'll be fresh trading and live streaming next week. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.